Hey, this is Lou Mangello from WDW Radio, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Let's do this.
The tangents this week continue all the way to episode 388 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast, and I'm pretty sure the D in D23 stands for dump truck full of announcements. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do it. We're going around the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
If Rachel can talk. This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City.
This is Sally from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana, I think. My brain is questionable. Oh my goodness. I'm going to sleep well later, I hope. It's been a very long day. All right. Well, we've got a lot of ground to cover. So first up, non-D23 related news, or at least stuff that did not come out of D23. So first up, a few last minute guest announcements for Salt Lake FanX, which is coming up this weekend.
This weekend,
as we're recording this.
We are going, we're going Thursday and Saturday. I couldn't get work off, but we're going to go after I get off work on Thursday. Friday, we're just going to skip. And Saturday, we're taking the kids. So it should be fun anyway. We are hoping, cross our fingers, to get a recording from Charles Martinet, the guy who voices Mario.
It's a me, Mario.
Yes.
Woo!
Alex is just, he loves Mario so much. We just watched yet another playthrough of Super Mario World just now, but you know what, he's having a good time, so it's all good. So hopefully we'll get to meet him and just kind of chill and have some fun. So they have the Hillywood show is coming. They've been there before.
Nice.
But coming back. And
they're so cool, the stuff they do.
Yeah.
I know we're going to get it eventually, but I'm anxiously waiting for their Good Omens parody.
Yes. The supernatural ones are playing awesome, but it's just like, I want the Good Omen with one now, please. Thank you.
They'll get to it. I don't know if they're planning on premiering anything or whatever, but so they're coming. And then also Eduardo Franco, otherwise known as Argyle from Stranger Things. So that'll be a good time, I'm sure. And
you've got 3 people from Stranger Things coming. So
yes.
Certainly,
yes,
Dustin, Chrissy, and Argyle.
I know. I'm like, I guess I'm gonna have to go meet the Chrissy actress.
You should. You really should.
I should. I've been trying to find like the sweater that she wears, just because I'm like, that would be so fun. Even if it's just like in a t-shirt or something. I like that, because I mean, I was never ever gonna be a cheerleader in high school. Just never gonna be a thing. But I liked her. I mean, I was like, oh, and I hated that she he died in the first freaking episode.
Yeah.
And then poor Eddie. But I mean,
But hey, how many times do you get to meet someone who plays a character who has your name?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think I mentioned this in passing at one point, but I'll repeat it. So for the longest time, because, okay, so my next youngest sister, her name's Emily, and I have a sister named Allison. I'm like, there's Emily's and Allison's all over the place. Sorry, it's true. In movies, shows, and in real life. Not a lot of Chrissies, a lot of Christies, but not a lot of Chrissies. The only other Chrissy I knew of in movies or whatever before this was the girl from Now and Then.
Okay.
And she was kind of the really naive, dorky girl that kind of was the butt of everybody's joke.
Or Chrissy from Three's Company, and that's just as bad.
Yeah. But I was like, okay. But then they're like, oh, and you actually spell it the same way I do, because not everybody spells it the way I do. I've run into some very obnoxious spellings of my name in throughout the years. But I was like, and she's a fun character, and she's dead. But she was a fun character while she was on the screen. So I'm like, oh yeah, I can give. And then the few scenes that she had with Eddie, I was like, oh, you guys are so sweet. And it's like, this is how good this show is. It's like just these characters that are just in the show for a little bit of time, or share scenes for a short amount of time. It warms your heart. Although I got another funny story to tell you. I know I'm going off on way tangent. So not last week, the week before, the 9th and 10th, Jared and I were doing ToshoCon, which is the library's teen anime convention. So we're like on the committee, and we're part of the staff that's in charge of it. And there's teens everywhere dressed up and everything. And I just wore some of my anime shirts because I didn't really want to dress up in anything too wild and crazy, and have to help set up, take down, whatever. So there was one point I was running somewhere, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I had to run back around to because I think we were going to get ready for the cosplay contest. And I had my name badge on, and there were these kids standing outside by the drinking fountain. I was refilling my water bottle, and they're like, oh, Chrissy, you died in Stranger Things. Are you in the Upside Down? And I was like, yeah, it's me and Eddie. We're like tight up there. And they're like, oh, did you guys really get together? And I'm like, you're just gonna have to find out.
Nicely played.
Yes. And I'm like, I mean, I had a good time at our little convention. I was very much reminded why I'm a children's librarian and not a teen librarian, because some of those teens are a little bit, but it was like that I could come back with something like that. and the other thing I said, and I got a Metallica song dedicated to me, so there.
Nice.
So it was a good moment. I'm like, oh man. I mean, this season of Stranger Things was great anyway, but I had a character in this series, so it's awesome. So anyway, that was a roundabout way of talking about our first bit of news. So we probably should keep going because we got a lot of stuff to cover. But I will have a report of sorts coming from FanX. I don't know how much I'll get to talk to people or whatever, but I'll take pictures and just come on back for it.
A couple of trailers that I don't think necessarily came out of D23, but I think they came out on Disney Plus Day, which was the day before D23 started.
Yeah, it was all kind of lumped together, so who knows?
Yeah, and a lot of stuff has happened since then. But we got our first look at the new Percy Jackson adaptation, because Percy Jackson has been adapted before.
Well, they can't do any worse.
Yeah,
than once before.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. So we got that, and then our look at presumably the end of the Tim Allen era of the Santa Claus universe. So with the Santa Clauses, because his Santa apparently wants to retire, and the hunt for a new Santa Claus, which apparently their first pick is Peyton Manning.
Okay, so I watched this trailer, and with all the reboots and whatever's that were coming out, there are some that are it's hit and miss, and there's been a lot of misses, and I was like, oh, please don't be awful and stupid and whatever. And I'm sitting there, but then I'm watching this trailer, and I'm like, okay, I can believe Tim Allen Santa Claus, he's ready to retire, I get that. And
it's better than being killed like his predecessor. Then he got the job.
And I'm like, but then it feels like they're treating it well. And then the cherry on top was Peyton Manning is auditioning for Santa Claus. I'm like, okay, this might not suck.
That and then Bernard's back. I was like,
yes, oh my gosh, yes.
Movie.
Bernard is back. Oh, I wonder if the next Santa Claus is going to be Bernard. Honestly.
Oh, that would be nice. I like that theory, Chrissy.
Yes. I don't know. It's just some about the way the trailer, something about the way that they were doing the trailer. I was kind of like, or that they introduced him in it. I was like, maybe, or maybe it's just because they're bringing him back, but it could work. So we'll see. But this one, I mean, the trailer, it made me actually want to watch it. Yeah, I was a little bit like, are you gonna do it right? Are you gonna just, say, oh, we're just cashing in on nostalgia or whatever? But it might be all right. So I am cautiously optimistic.
Yes, and I will take Peyton Manning as Santa Claus over Tom Brady any day.
Oh, of course. Well, see, and this is
I'm with Peyton on that one.
Yes. It's like, Tom Brady, you should have retired. Then you could have been doing cool stuff like this. No, you gotta go and run for another ring and, piss off your wife. So,
And then throw a hissy fit and throw your tablets and all this other happy horse hockey on the sideline.
Oh, that was so funny. And the commentators were like, oh, be careful with that Microsoft Surface tablet. I'm like, how many times are you being paid to say Microsoft Surface tablet?
I think I think he's done this one other time before too, a few years back, if memory serves correctly.
I believe you are correct.
It's not like he can't afford to replace it.
That is true, and it's just kind of like, oh dear. Yeah. Like, you didn't have to come back, dude.
No, you could have stayed with Giselle and the kids.
It's like we were very happy to have you retired and go off and do your own thing, and we the rest of us just kind of enjoy football without you. But no, you had to come back and just
don't ruin it everything.
Yes.
Well, it gave the sports YouTubers a lot of material to work with, so I can never complain about that.
True.
But
I guess those car rental commercials don't pay out as much as
I guess not.
One thought.
Yeah. So we have to suffer through your nonsense again.
Any hoozles.
Yep. So anyway, Peyton Manning might be the next Santa Claus. Sure. I'll take it.
Yep. Stay tuned to Disney Plus to find out. Coming this Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, speaking of winners, there's a segue in there somewhere.
Nicely done.
The Emmy Awards recently taken place, and
which none of us really realized. Like everyone was like, "Oh, the Emmys happened," and we're like, "They did."
Yeah, they happened while we were recording.
Yeah,
last Monday, I think.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And there really wasn't too much pomp and circumstance on the TV about, hey, the Emmys are on.
Yeah, it was like one of the lowest rated ones, if memory serves. I saw someone talking about it, like the viewership was just not there, and it's like, oh dear.
Well, considering like most of the stuff that we, the type of shows that we like and care about, did win some awards again in the technical categories. For the most part, with a couple of exceptions. So like, outstanding comedy and drama TV, whatever, the ones that won are the ones I expected to win, and that's stuff that I don't watch. But we did have, what I like about the Emmys is they do have a large number of categories. So they're very specific. So that does give ample opportunity for stuff we like to win. So I will give them that. We have outstanding character voiceover performance. which sounds like a mouthful, but voiceover acting, as we know, as people we talked about, it's for a lot of people, that's their bread and butter. They never really are in front of the camera. They're perfectly fine to be in a recording booth.
But
in
it
this
does
case,
take some talent to do voices.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Even if you're playing a character that you're really familiar with, in this case, Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa's last Black Panther in Marvel's What If.
And I didn't realize he was nominated, but I think if I had known, I'd be like, oh yeah, he's gonna win just because that's how these things go. It's not to take away his talent achievements in any of this, but posthumous award giving is not uncommon in cases such as this. Well, and he was always a pretty cool guy and very, like I said, very talented. So good for him.
Yeah. And part of me is like, also like, well, that kind of makes up for that Academy Award snub.
If you tilt your head and squint at it.
Yeah. So, let's see. The Beatles Get Back documentary won several awards, including outstanding directing for a documentary program. So Peter Jackson, like, he needs any more hardware, but
we will definitely take it.
Yeah. Outstanding documentary or nonfiction series, outstanding picture editing for a nonfiction program, outstanding sound editing for a nonfiction or reality program, outstanding sound mixing.
Now, did they get a clean sweep of what they were nominated for, or did they lose out on one? Okay,
I have no idea. I just have the winners. Only Murders in the Building. Nathan Lane won outstanding guest actor in a comedy series.
Yay!
It also won for outstanding sound mixing for a comedy drama series, Half Hour.
Nice.
So that's cool. Stranger Things walked away with several, including outstanding music supervision, outstanding prosthetic makeup, which totally Vecna right there.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Everyone could call him, Wish.com Lord Voldemort all they want, but it's still
very impressive makeup. Prosthetic work. So. Outstanding sound editing for a comedy or drama series, 1 hour. Outstanding sound mixing for a comedy or drama series, 1 hour. Outstanding stunt coordination for a drama series. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And let's see, Moon Knight won for outstanding sound editing for a limited or anthology series. Book of Boba Fett won outstanding special visual effects in a season or movie. An outstanding television movie went to Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
I still haven't watched that thing.
I haven't either.
I haven't either. And for what I've heard, you're either going to absolutely love it or absolutely hate it. Apparently, there's no in between.
Oh boy.
I don't know. Like, I'm like, I saw the trailer and I'm like, this is so stupid. I hate it. I'm never gonna watch it. And then all these people that I was so certain that they would hate it, they're like, hey, actually, it wasn't too bad. And I'm like, are you on drugs? Because and will you share?
Yes.
But yeah, I'm like, I don't know.
Right there with you.
Yeah.
I mean, ugly Sonic is still ugly Sonic, and they were right to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Saying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah. There's that. And then in the feeds, we have the newest episode of Gold Standard, where we talk about the 1980 86 Oliver Stone Best Picture winner Platoon. And then
you
this,
guys are cruising through all these.
yeah. And then this month's Patreon episode is available out for those who want to support us on Patreon, and we talk about The Insider.
Cool.
Which I'm getting real sick and tired of seeing Al Pacino's face. So
You're like, can we get someone new, please?
yes.
Yeah, because you do what? All 3 Godfather movies, and then
Oh boy.
this.
And we did Heat, which is another
And
Michael
Heat.
Mann movie.
Oh my!
It's
Ooh.
the same director
Mm.
as The Insider. So yeah, I'm a
You might
little...
have to talk to Nick about putting a moratorium on Al Pacino.
Well, I
movies
think
for a
it's
little
more
while.
our requesters, our Patreon supporters. Granted, The Godfather 1 and 2, those were Best Picture winners. We didn't have a choice, but we didn't have to do The Godfather 3. But someone gave us money, and it's kind of hard to say no when somebody gives you their hard-earned money.
Well, they're kind of like, well, you did the first 2, so you might as well just round out the set.
That was pretty much their justification for it. So,
and basically, they were like The Godfather. They were making you an offer you really couldn't refuse.
pretty much.
Now, see, that's what happens when you open yourself up to audience requests like that, because they always want to see you suffer. I'll tell you this, there is a YouTube channel that I watch called Historic Travels, and he talks about like old ships and stories around them and all that stuff, and mostly the Titanic, but there are others that he talks about too. Anyway, people have been bugging him forever to watch this video that just gets all the history wrong, but they're presenting it as truth, and it's all just because we want to watch his brain melt. And he did it last night, and I'm like, oh, you poor thing, thank you for doing this.
Hopefully he had plenty of adult beverages on the side for him.
Definitely had the sweet tea flow, and I saw that while he was watching and reacting. Oh,
See,
the things we do for our audience.
Yeah. Well, at least Holly was nice when she was making her requests, and even let us skip over Temple of Doom when doing Indiana Jones. So
yeah, Holly's been
not all of our
ones.
patron supporters are sadists.
And I'm certain
that's because she knows. That's because she knows I know where she lives.
Yes, yes, exactly.
It may take me a while to get there, but I can get there.
Yes. She knows my stomping grounds. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you want to hear us discuss things like The Insider and Godfather Part 3, you can go support Gold Standard on Patreon. All right, moving on to feedback. Speaking from people who like to give us suggestions, but in a nice way. We have feedback from Shalane. She says, hey girls, I was right that you were going to talk about Queen Elizabeth II this week. It's like she knows us or something.
Something like that.
She said, so I decided to give you girls my thoughts on D23 right now. So yeah, she's going to touch upon some of the stuff we're about to talk about, but that's okay. And she says, first, you girls know who Jennifer Lee is. She directed Frozen 1 and 2 with Chris Buck, and now she's the chief head of Disney Animation Studio. Good for her.
Cool.
Yeah. And she says she has been following the Percy Jackson social medias to get updates.
Okay.
And she thinks that all the kids that were cast seem to be perfect for their roles and the right age, which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Kids playing kids. That's always a good thing.
It's been a while since I've read the series. I may have to go back and give them a reread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says, I got chills from the Little Mermaid live action trailer. Me too.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I wasn't sure about Haley playing Ariel, but after hearing her voice, she sounds amazing. And she's excited about the new music written by Lin-Manuel Miranda working alongside Alan Menken. She's also excited about some stars coming into the Disney bubble. Well, some kind of already have been, but Gal Gadot and Rachel Ziegler are going to be in the live action Snow White, which she's excited about. And she's also excited for Ariana DeBose to play a Disney princess in the new movie Wish. She says the Haunted Mansion movie looks like it's going to have a good cast, and she says Jamie Lee Curtis is probably going to make a pretty good Madame Leota. And she says it's interesting we're getting a prequel about Mufasa in The Lion King. Yeah, we'll get to that. She says Disenchanted looks funny and cute, and she's excited to have new music. She's excited to get some more the Thunderbolts cast, getting more information about those characters. And then she asked, why haven't we talked about like the Santa Claus series? Stuff got pushed to the back for a while.
We would have. We just, there was a little bit of there was a big piece of news that you might have heard about.
Yeah.
And if you go back about 5-10 minutes or so, you'll heard a reaction.
Yes.
Yep. We'll get to it eventually. That's our unofficial tagline. And then
might put that on a sticker, honestly.
Yeah, really. And then she finishes up by saying she's excited. She's glad that Pixar is doing some more sequels. But she also enjoys their origin stories, which we're getting a little both in the near future. So it's all good.
And I don't know if you guys saw this, but supposedly they are going to be re-releasing the full version of the Muppet Christmas Carol with the When Love Is Gone.
I saw that, and I was like, awesome.
Finally, we talked about this. Yay!
Yes.
Somebody heard us.
Yeah.
Got to the right ears.
I know. It's like that it's not just Disney, but there are other studios too that are like, look, there are all these things from your past that we would love to see again that you guys aren't releasing. You are leaving money on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it. You don't know how many people would pay out the nose for this.
Yeah. Well,
and maybe not out the nose, but
I mean, and we talked about this when we talked about the Muppet Christmas Carol, which you can go listen to that episode. It's out there. And just that particular scene, to see, young adult Ebenezer essentially get dumped.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you see Gonzo and Rizzo like being really upset and like bawling their eyes out. And it's like, the scene is sad to see, Ebenezer get dumped like that, but it's not, their reaction doesn't necessarily seem appropriate to what we just witnessed. When you put the song back in, then you feel the weight of it.
Sense.
And then their reaction makes way more sense.
And they have the short reprise, whatever, at the end of the movie, which is The Love We Found.
Yeah.
And it's like that. I mean, it's fine, but it doesn't quite make sense without the original song in there too. And it's like, why did you take that out?
Yeah.
But anyway, yes.
But
go back and listen to our episode on that, because I will sit here and rant if I get going. So I'm just going to say, go listen to when we reviewed Muppet Christmas Carol. And we're good.
Yeah. So, well, but since we're talking the House of Mouse, that's a good segue. D23 Expo, which took place now a couple of almost a week and a half ago ish. Out in Anaheim, and of course our good friend Lou Mangello and Becky Menken were both out there. They had quite the eye-catching booth. So I watched friend of the show and former guest Jacob the Carpetbagger went one day while he was out in California, and he happened to walk by and commented on the giant balloon figment, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that booth. So I even commented as such on his video. So like, I know the people. I know that booth. My friend runs that booth. That's my friend's booth. But yeah, look, from the looks of it, Lou and Becky and the WW/MEI crew had a lot of fun. Once again, Kevin Feige stopped by the booth to say hello to his good friend Lou. I hate you both.
Rachel, just next time you got to swing it where you're there.
I know. Like, seriously.
Then we can
goals.
You.
Goals.
You could have been booth mom.
Yes.
Seriously. Yeah. Becky needs a cocktail. I'm on it.
Make sure everybody stays hydrated and has snacks.
That is my job.
Food runs? Sure.
Exactly. So, all I'm just saying, my services can be fairly inexpensive. I just need room and board. So anyway, D23 Expo, back into the swing of things. And of course, as it does, the entire event kicked off with the Disney Legends Award ceremony, where folks whose careers have been notably part of the Disney family get recognized. Some names you will recognize, some you may not necessarily, but they're all people who have helped grow the company, and it's honestly control over everything.
Pretty much.
And this was also kind of a unofficial kickoff for what next year is going to be Disney's 100th anniversary. So 1923, hence D23, was when the Walt Disney or the Disney Brothers company was founded. So of course next year is 2023. So they're calling it Disney 100. They've already started rolling some of it out. Like if you watch the trailers on YouTube, the Disney 100 logo is already being utilized. So this was kind of their way of unofficially kicking it off. It will officially kick off with Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve end of this year, because that's on ABC, of course. And once we ring in the new year with well, it's not Dick Clark anymore, unfortunately, he's no longer with us, with Ryan Seacrest, with the Disney 100 celebration will officially be kicked off, but you can keep track of announcements and all sorts of exciting things at disney100.com, because of course there's got to be a website for everything. But they are regardless of how you feel about him, he is in charge. So Mr. Chapek was there, and I'm not even going to go into it. And
sorry, I'm just remembering the little clip of I think it was CNBC. They called him Bob Paycheck.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know you said you weren't going to go into it, but I just remembered it and it cracked me up. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he says that they are going to be pulling out all the stops to honor a century of groundbreaking Disney storytelling, experiences, and magic. It's going to highlight the past, the present, and the future of the company and chronicle, and will, they call it a year-long celebration. Unofficially, when it comes to any sort of Disney celebration, a Disney year is 18 months.
Yep.
So just saying.
Yep. Their year's just a little bit longer than our typical year, but hey,
it's not
kind of like dog years.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not quite dog years, but we'll call it mouse years.
Yeah, the mouse years.
I like that. Yes,
is 18 months. So,
yep.
But yeah, so they brought had a celebration for this year's class of Disney legends, where they give them an award. They get to put their hands in cement, and that gets installed, I think, at the studios in California. So this year's class include Ellen Pompeo, star of Grey's Anatomy for the last bazillion years. Can't believe that show's still on. Robert Coltrane, who worked at Walt Disney Imagineering. Patrick Dempsey, also from Grey's Anatomy, but also in Enchanted and the upcoming Disenchanted. Doris Hardoon, who was also part of WDI, Walt Disney Imagineering. Anthony Anderson, star of Blackish. Tracy Ellis Ross, also star of Blackish. Debbie Swenson, who is the daughter of Robert Price Foster, who worked at the Walt Disney Company back in the 60s and was part of the group that helped do the under the radar land purchasing in Florida.
Nice.
Among other things, Chris Montan, who is a Disney music supervisor. Jonathan Groff, the voice of one of the voices in Frozen.
Wow, really? He's a Disney legend already?
Yeah, well, they did kind of the big four of Frozen. So we've got Kristoff, we've got Kristen Bell, Josh Gad, Olaf, of course, and Idina Menzel, because Frozen has just, it's become such a big thing, and it's like 10, not even 10 years old yet. So
yeah.
Okay. I don't know. For me, it's like I was like, well, I thought this was, in the Football Hall of Fame, they have to wait for like 5 years or so. But then again, I guess it has almost been 10 years since Frozen, and I feel old. So
yes,
time needs to chill out.
Yes.
Yeah. He's also done a lot of Broadway and the like.
Well, he was in
King George and Hamilton.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was in Hamilton, and which Hamilton is on Disney Plus because they got the rights to. Yeah. Anyway, that's a complicated thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's a legend because he spit on himself as King George and kept singing.
Yes.
And then Don Hahn, who unfortunately could not make it because I guess he's busy doing other things. So the presenter accepted on his behalf. But he's a Disney animation legend.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one makes me happy. He worked on the original Little Mermaid, and I just remember like seeing his name and on the credits and all those movies from the 90s and probably before as well. But Don Hahn, much love.
Yep. And then again, unfortunately with these posthumous awards, but Chadwick Boseman was honored with the Disney Legend Award. His brother accepted it on Chadwick's behalf, obviously. So, but yeah, so there's that. So that's how pretty much everything kicked off. And then, of course, we've got Disney live action and animation and Pixar announcements. So we've got some we already know is coming, some's coming very soon. And then some are new, actually. So new to us. So like I said, they kept some stuff out of San Diego Comic-Con so they could make those announcements here. So mostly because it's a lot easier for them to get the celebrities to show up. So of course, Hocus Pocus 2, we got a new trailer for that. So we finally get our first look at the return of Billy. I am a nice zombie.
I am excited about that one because it's still Doug Jones, right?
Yes.
Doing it. Yes, good.
And we still get the amok gag run line. Like, yes. I'm like, yes. Oh, she said it. She said it. She said it.
Yeah.
Now stars we fly.
Yes. Now I'm got a couple thoughts on this one. Yes, it's going to be fun to see this movie. I hope they don't just rely on the jokes of, what was catchy and funny in the first one. It's like, okay, yeah, you're going to do amok, you're going to, Winnie is going to be what she does, and
she
and book.
Yes, and book. And it's like, but let's mix in a few new things as well. Let's not just. So I'm crossing my fingers that it's not just we're retreading old ground, because we've had 29 years now to as Facebook
some of it you have similar jokes, but they're updated. Like Mary has gone from an upright vacuum to a pair of Roombas.
Yes, that's gonna be funny. I mean, there you can update the jokes, just get some new ones in there too, not just the updated ones. So I'm being
well, and it also looks
like
we're gonna get some backstory for the Sanderson sisters too. So that's exciting. Cool. That gives us some new areas to explore, which is exciting.
Although I will say the casting for the young Sanderson sisters, I'm like, dang, not bad. You guys did a good job of getting girls that could conceivably be these sisters in their teenage years.
Well, and I think they know how much of a beloved classic this is, so if they goof up, it's
well. And honestly, I don't think our three leads would have come back if the script wasn't right.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they could offer them a lot of zeros on that paycheck, but I think you're right, Rachel. If the story wasn't there, they would not have signed on the dotted line.
Yeah. I mean, you can offer people a lot of money, and some people will do things. It's like, really, you just did that for a paycheck? But I think in some cases, some actors, singers, it's like, I can kind of see them doing that. But like you're talking about someone like Bette Midler, I would think that's almost insulting if you were just like, please do it, we'll give you as much money as you want. It's like, she's Bette Midler, you don't do that.
Right, she's the divine Miss M. She's gonna laugh in your face if you do that and just say, doors that way, darling.
That's my 2 cents, at least, on the situation. So but we will find out soon, because it drops on the 30th, which is next Friday.
Yes.
As we're recording this. So we shall find out if the Sanderson sisters continue to put a spell on us.
If you happen to hear squealing from miles away, you know it's us.
Don't mind the noise.
Yep.
And then we got a trailer for Disenchanted, a long-awaited sequel to Enchanted. So it's been 15 years since Giselle and Robert got married, but now they're moving out of the city and into the suburbs, and Giselle feels even more out of place even after all this time, and gets the opportunity to make some wishes, and things go a little crazy, essentially. So
now
it looks like they're going to because Giselle, obviously she was a literal princess from a fairy tale land, a storybook type land. So she is very much kind of the Enchanted was kind of fish out of water, because she checked a lot of the boxes for these the Disney princess stereotypes, and now she's kind of acclimated to our world, but still has some of it, like she still sings to her animal friends and talks to them, but it looks like maybe she's kind of wants maybe some aspects of her old life back, that it's going to lean really into the tropes, which is what she doesn't necessarily want. So.
I mean, this one again, you think, oh, they're making a sequel to this movie, and is this going to be as good as the first one, or are they just gonna retread old ground? But I'm looking at the trailer, and it feels like, I mean, with the whole idea that she's going to be the evil quote unquote stepmother, and it's like, okay, we're not just gonna do the fish out of water thing. It's gonna be what happens when you are the new person, or the new whatever, and you end up doing some things that aren't quite so nice and pretty and everything. And so it feels like they're still going to be able to do all those tropes and poke some gentle fun at themselves, like they did with Enchanted, which is why Enchanted was so fun and so good. But now they're going to do it in a different way, and I'm like, okay, I think they're gonna do something fun with this. So hang tight, and then you have the fairy tale princess going up against the Karens of the HOA. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so funny. If it's gonna go the way I think it's gonna go, I'm excited for it. It's gonna be a good time.
Hopefully we'll get some more snappy catchy numbers like True Love's Kiss and That's How You Know.
So. I hope there's a good villain song for her. Like being the evil stepmother, I guess. She's leaning into that a little bit. Have we reviewed Enchanted on the podcast?
We have not.
I think we need to put that on our list.
I think so too.
We could probably do a double feature once the sequel comes out, kind of like we did with the
I'd be for it.
The Princess Diaries, where we just
did them both
of them out.
Yeah,
sure. I like this plan, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Yes,
so would Christopher me.
Yep. So, which means I need to sit down and rewatch Enchanted.
I think I still have the soundtrack somewhere.
Yeah.
Cool.
So there's that, which those we knew were coming. So we got this one, still not really any kind of looks, at least public. Unfortunately, some of this stuff, depending on where they are in production, in some cases, the D23 audience got maybe a teaser or maybe some test footage or something. In some cases, they just got concept art because it's not that far into production yet. And a lot of that stuff they have not released to the public, not put out there. So unfortunately, that it is what it is. But that's Disney's purview. That's their choice. So, but our live action Peter Pan, titled Peter Pan and Wendy, which we'd known that this was coming for a while because they made the announcement that Jude Law was going to be playing Captain Hook. I don't know how long ago.
Now that you say that, I remember that. Like, oh yeah.
But it's not going to be a not necessarily a live action remake in the vein of like Beauty and the Beast or
the shot
like the new
shot
Pinocchio thing. Yeah, I think this is going to be more like Cinderella or maybe Maleficent, where they're going to give you way more backstory. So like this is going to dive, give us more context of Hook and Pan's rivalry and all that.
It's like more of another adaptation rather than, oh, we're just going to redo our old one. And I mean, and they'll probably, throw in some of the songs from the original, but which I actually liked better when they did that with Cinderella and to another extent with Maleficent was, okay, you're just telling a different aspect of the story and not just the, oh, we're going to repeat it in a different format. And that's the part that really bugs me about the remakes is, oh, we're just going to do the same thing over and over again, just, with a different coat of paint. And it's like, no, don't do that. Don't. Yeah. Please don't. Don't insult my intelligence, please.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like with like Maleficent giving us a whole background on the character.
Yeah.
Or just at least it's something different.
Yeah. Or with Cinderella, like they okay, we made the prince his own character. It reminded me a lot of Ever After because it's like other people have done their interpretations of these fairy tales because they can. Disney doesn't own isn't like completely. It's in the public domain, so you can do your own thing with the original fairy tales and it's like, and I've seen that a lot. And it's like, okay, so, do that with Beauty and the Beast, do that with, Peter Pan really isn't in public domain, but I mean, we have Hook, we have these other versions of the story. And it's like that's kind of what I had hoped when they started doing these remakes, that's what it would be. So I'm hoping the Peter Pan one that yes, they do it different. They don't just do the shot for shot remake thing again because it's like we have the original. Don't. It's like come on, and it's a good one. It's one of my favorites. Just make something new, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. That's all I ask. You're freaking Disney. You're celebrating 100 years of all this creativity and innovation and whatever. Freaking use it. Please
innovate
for heaven's sake. Yes. Come
on. It is, as Shalane mentioned, Haunted Mansion. So we're getting
now.
Okay, so this isn't a remake of the Eddie.
That's what
Murphy.
I was gonna say. It's like this isn't
movie,
connected to the Eddie Murphy version.
But this isn't the Guillermo del Toro spooky version that he's trying to make either. So this is something completely different. But it's inspired, kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay, you go the Pirates of the Caribbean route. I think you got me. We'll see how you do.
It's about a woman and her son who buy this house, presumably this mansion. They find out it's haunted, so they call in some spiritual experts to try to rid the house of the happy haunts, essentially. So but yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is going to play Madame Leota. So
well, let's see how they go, and maybe we'll have a new favorite Halloween movie. Because
it's kind of hard to beat Hocus Pocus, though.
Well, there are some good ones, but but I love the Haunted Mansion. When I finally got to go ride it at Disneyland, I was like, this is so cool. I love it. And I don't like scary haunted haunted houses or anything like that, but I love the Haunted Mansion.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yes. So I'm like, yeah, if you want to do a decent movie of it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the only reason why I watched the original Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy is because I found out I liked the Inspector Lindley mystery TV series. Well, one of the actors, Nathaniel Parker, who played Master Gracie, was in the Haunted Mansion. So I actually sat and watched it for Nathaniel Parker. So
nice.
We've all been there. We have all watched bad movies just because someone we like is in it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So
oh, so many times.
Oh yes.
All right. Not due out until 2024, but yes, Mufasa the Lion King.
And so many face palms were heard across the land.
Yes.
I'm like, okay. I mean, this is the not live action version, if I'm remembering the announcement correctly. So they're not doing it animated.
I guess it just says a prequel to the Lion King, but it doesn't specify.
Because I'm just gonna say this. Okay, Disney. We go in spurts. We had our direct to video sequel era, which that was very much hit and miss. A lot emphasis on the miss, but one of them that was actually pretty good. Like, I mean, not ever to the level of the original, but it was watchable, and it had some catchy songs and good characters. Was The Lion King 2, because it was about Simba's daughter and Scar's adopted son, because they sidestepped the whole. You guys, you don't know how lions work. Like, come on. Anyway,
yes,
it's not incest. Just stop it. But. And it was a really sweet story, and it was a good way to kind of continue on with these characters. It's like, okay, you guys want to make another Lion King something or other? Do Simba's Pride. And I know I just went on this whole big rant about, just stop remaking things. But if we're going to go down this path and you're insisting on doing this, I just, I'm like, why? We didn't need a Mufasa prequel. Because Mufasa he's Mufasa, he's Simba's dad. We don't need to see his whole sordid growing up backstory, and I'm like, because I just the way they've been doing this, it's like you're gonna turn it into Mufasa and Scar, and whatever happened to Scar when they were kids was Mufasa's fault because reasons, and it's just like, don't.
And then Scar had a chip on his shoulder that he kept there for years and years and years.
Yes, and you're gonna want to make Mufasa. I mean, Mufasa is like, when we watch him in Lion King, and like he is Simba's hero. Simba is just, he loves his dad. He has a good relationship with him. When his dad dies, it's so devastating for him. And like, we have
all emotionally scarred from the death of Mufasa.
Yes, because we're seeing it from Simba's point of view, and so it feels like we've lost a parent in that moment. And it's like, okay, so you want to, kind of you want to just take the rose-colored whatever off of us. You want to take that hero shine off of him. Like, why? I mean, I know that happens in real life, but this is a movie. This isn't real life. The whole point of The Lion King is, here's this boy who's grown up and taught you are going to be a king someday, and things happen in his life. He loses his way, and then he realizes, oh, this was my value, this was my worth, and my father taught me that, and I have to go back and reclaim that because I am better than what I have become. And Mufasa even says that. So it's like this whole thing, and I'm going to bring it up because, and you'll probably all hate me for it. It's this whole thing with the Lord of the Rings is like, oh, we've got to make Galadriel, this whatever, and but she was this ethereal, beautiful, wise, powerful, like goddess-like person. But no, we got to bring her down to the level of a mortal, because heaven forbid we have aspiring heroes to come up to look up to, and Mufasa was one of those. I don't want a Mufasa prequel, because Mufasa is perfect. You don't touch him. Stop it. Sorry, I needed a soapbox.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm very annoyed about this.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. This is
it was soapbox worthy, Chrissy. It was soapbox worthy.
It's completely unnecessary.
Yes.
And just let
it's like I mean, I know
let sleeping lions lie.
Seriously,
Right.
It's like we know what happens to him. It's fine. Just leave him alone. It's like you want to cash that paycheck. Make Simba's pride. Do that one, or you know what? Even go and do Lion King 1.5. It was stupid, but it was funny. So,
yeah, especially considering this Mufasa movie is supposed to be apparently told in flashbacks by Timon, Pumbaa, and Rafiki.
What? I missed that part.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh my
told
gosh.
in flashbacks, Rafiki, Timon, and Pumbaa tell the story of Mufasa to a young lion cub.
So this isn't even Simba telling a story to like his kids.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is
the only thing I'm looking forward to is the pitch meeting for this one.
Yeah.
Because I think Ryan George is going to tear it a new one, and rightfully so.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, if it would have been Simba telling grandkids about Grandpa, fine and dandy. But when you got Rafiki, Timon, and Pumbaa doing this, I'm a little leery.
Timon and Pumbaa are the comic relief. You cannot trust them with anything serious. They are good for what they are, and we love them for it. But you're not going to tell the story of the great.
That's
King
probably
Mufasa.
why Rafiki is also there to rein them in
and to knock them on the head. But still, it's going to be a lot of head knocking, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Is this what an aneurysm feels like?
I hope
it's not funny.
I hope not.
I hope not. We need to keep you alive.
Yeah. I'm like, Disney, I love you, but there are just times when I have to point it out and say, like, really? And a few other choice words that I don't
allow me to quote a certain chaos theorist from another franchise. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yes.
I like this quote from that certain chaotician. Yes.
Leave Mufasa alone. There's a deep cut for you.
Yeah, really.
Leave the lion at peace before he decides to come back and do some damage with his
The lion sleeps tonight. Let's keep it that way.
Exactly. So. Oh, yep. There's that.
There's that. That happened.
And then we're apparently getting a Snow White. Why do we? We've already got like Snow White and the Huntsman, which I know is not
Disney.
The fairy tale.
No.
Yeah, that's supposed to be badass Snow White. Which we have badass Snow White. It's called Storybrooke.
Yeah,
Once upon a time.
The Once Upon a Time version, that was fine because that was its own thing, and it worked there. Snow White is not a badass. I'm sorry. Even in the original fairy tale, and there are reasons for that. Let me introduce you to my friend's symbolism here. Okay, that she doesn't, pick up a sword and go kill the dragon or whatever. That the prince comes and does it because there's a reason for that. And,
or maybe just the fact that Snow White in like I don't know about the original fairy tale, but in the Disney movie, she's like 14.
Yes. And the whole thing about she's on the run because the queen wants to kill her and she needs to find a safe place. She's been a scullery maid for the last however long. She knows how to cook and clean and keep house. She is using her skills.
She was Cinderella before Cinderella.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, and she offered to keep house for the dwarves so they would give her a safe place to stay. And that was like the smartest thing she could have done. Everybody likes to dog on her like, oh, all she did was cook and clean. It's like, yeah, because that's what she knew how to do, and it was survival. It's like,
right. And those
it was a fair trade for a safe roof over her head.
Yes, it was. Given the situation, I'm like, now I'm getting all up in arms with just people's criticism of the story and the character, and it's like, she's fine. She doesn't need to go be warrior princess. Just let her be.
Yeah. So I don't think that's what they're going to do with this, but I'm just saying we've already had some live action versions of Snow White. So but Rachel Ziegler is going to be Snow White, and Gal Gadot is going to play the evil queen, which
okay,
who's the fairest one? I mean, those are both very good looking women.
Yes.
So it's like,
I know the Snow White and the Huntsman one. It's like you're supposed to tell us that Kristen Stewart is prettier than Charlize Theron. You're on something.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Sorry, but it's true.
No. Yeah. To rephrase the thing from our certain castician yet again.
Yeah. Yeah. And then trailer has everybody up in arms. Now, not everybody. Stupid people up in arms.
Yes. Okay, remember the 3 Cooters theory. I don't think it's as many people as they want us to think.
Yes.
I really don't.
Yeah. It's just very loud.
Yes.
People.
Well, very loud people who are hurrying to denounce the link, 3 idiots.
Yeah, the link that we have in the show notes, which is the official trailer on I believe the Disney YouTube channel. This is actually one of those times where I would say go read the comments, because you will have a laugh. I think that the public has taken the opportunity to bury the real nasty awful comments with the just most ridiculous comments, and I love it. I'm here for it. But yeah, we've got our first look at the live action Little Mermaid with Halle Bailey. I gotta make sure I say her name right. It's not Halle Berry.
Which is really hard to do, and I'm just like,
this is Halle Bailey, who's a lot younger. No offense to Halle Berry.
Well, I mean, she would say the same thing. But sure.
I mean, it's all it is just a little bit of atmosphere, and then a small snippet of part of your world with Ariel in her grotto with her collection, her treasure trove. And she sounds amazing. So I mean, it's directed by Rob Marshall, so it's in good hands. You've got Alan Menken coming back to do the music with Lin-Manuel Miranda, so we know the music is in good hands. So I mean, it looks really good, and she sounds really good.
Right. And this is another case too of they wouldn't be doing it if the story and everything wasn't right, no matter how many zeros were on said paycheck. Because something tells Menken and Miranda are choosy about what they do. I mean, that's just
I am sure the music will be great. It looks beautiful. I will say that. And Halle Bailey, she looks cute. Her voice sounds great. Again, because this is a Disney remake, and we have had several of them, some of middling to absolutely terrible quality, I'm not excited for this, and it has nothing to do with the actress playing Ariel. And honestly, the people who are serious about their criticism, that's what people are saying is like, but you're always going to compare it to the original. And people like Little Mermaid was my very first Disney movie in theaters. Well, first one that I remember. And I loved the hell out of that movie. I still love it. I had a crush on Prince Eric, for heaven's sake. I wanted to be Ariel for Halloween one year, and I couldn't do it because my mom couldn't make a mermaid costume. And I just it's kind of like when they said, from the beginning, when they said we're gonna make a Little Mermaid live action movie, and I'm like, please don't. I don't even care who you get to play Ariel or any of this other stuff. I'm looking at these remakes, and I know I'm just sitting here harping and cussing and whatever about it. And
but Chrissy, you do have a valid point, though. I mean, look at Aladdin.
Yeah, and
the remake for live action. Yeah. It looked like it was going to be decent, but
it was just kind of And because and I think my problem is because it's The Little Mermaid, because it was Beauty and the Beast, because it was Lion King, because it was Aladdin, and these were like the crown jewels of the Disney Renaissance,
golden age.
The golden age. It's like, okay, you want to remake, you want to revisit some of your old stuff. Fine, pick ones like that didn't do so well originally, like Atlantis, Treasure Planet.
Right.
I mean, even a Hercules remake I would be fine with, even though I love that movie. Or or go back and do Black Cauldron. Maybe Fox and the Hound, or I don't know, like some of these, they just didn't have a good fair enough shake when they were animated originally. Because they're doing like and I had somebody explain it this way. Is you look back on these original animated movies and you look at like what was the impact they made on cinema, on movie going, on your childhood or whatever else, what was the impact? I'm talking about this movie more than 30 years on that I still love it. I want to show it to my kids and I hope they love it. I mean, Beauty and the Beast, the remake of that one, it was what, 5-6 years ago. I don't care about it. I had no desire to own it on Blu-ray. It made no impact on me, and and I don't hear people talk about it. I don't hear people, I don't feel like it made any impact on the culture or anything like that. And so it's like, these are these amazing touchstone movies that were like watershed moments in cinema. They're not just throw it in the theaters and we're going to make a couple $100,000 million, whatever. These are special. These need to be treated with respect and care. And I don't doubt that Alan Menken and Lin-Manuel Miranda and all these people they're going to be careful with it. It's just not the original. And that, I think, is what's getting lost in all this furor of everyone saying, well, you just don't like her because and it's just like, no, that's not it. You're not listening to why people are upset about this. And I've like had it up to here with the pointy fingers and the accusations. And when we're saying like, I'm sure she's going to do a great job. I mean, I would, if someone came to me and said, we want you to play Ariel in the live action version, I would be like over the moon. And I'm sure Miss Bailey I'm sure she's ecstatic, as well she should be. I just question the studio's wisdom in doing this in the first place. And that is my biggest complaint about it. And because it's Little Mermaid, and because that one just feels uniquely mine, even though I know there's probably millions of people that is the case for, I am just like, please, I am begging you, with tears in my eyes, do not do this. Sorry for being a downer, but that's how I feel.
Hey, no, you are perfectly valid in your feelings. I loved the Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and even Lion King. I mean, those were like the three. I mean, granted, we had Aladdin in there too, but for me, it was Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, Lion King. Those were my jam.
Yes.
During the Disney Renaissance, and the music for The Little Mermaid specifically has a very, very special place in my heart. So yeah, it's like,
anyway, I'm sure there's going to be little girls who go see this and love the heck out of it, and I don't want to take that away from them. I'm
a little excited to hear the new music, just because I love the animated movies soundtrack, and I'm interested to take, because there's gonna be 4 new songs in this one, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, I mean, I guess it also depends on whether it's just going to be a full-on just remake of the animated, or if they're going to give us anything else. Like they sometimes with some of these remakes, they do give us, like we were saying, some more world building, like with Cinderella. But then you get Beauty and the Beast, where they give us just like a little bit of more backstory,
a little bit, but it doesn't
it's
make
not
sense.
enough, and somehow the prince still doesn't end up with a freaking name by the end of the movie, which so it's like, if they're going to give us maybe some more backstory, especially like with Ursula, because it's like in the animated movie, Ursula's like, when I lived in the palace. Let's hear about that. Why is how was she part of the palace? And I mean, we could probably guess she did something bad to get kicked out. But she is a witch after all. But it's like, if you're going to give us some more proper backstory, that I'm possibly here for. But if all you're going to give us is like a couple of lines and be like, there you go, there's your backstory, like they did with Beauty and the Beast, then it's like, why did you bother to spend all this money?
And it ends up making no sense whatsoever. I mean, my whole thing is, I'm just tired of people dismissing those who are saying, we're not really sure about this, or no, don't do it, as just, well, you're just a bad person because you don't like the actress because of her skin color, of all frickin' things. It's like, no,
she's a fish.
And that's not even the issue. And it's like, you're not even listening to what the issues are. You're just assuming because the news told you to, or some idiot on Twitter told you that, everyone who hates this new remake is a terrible person, and they hate the girl that's playing Ariel, and that could not be further from the truth. And I'm kind of tired of having to sit here and qualify that when it should be patently obvious. Thank you very much. Twitter, sit down, shut up, and eat a cookie. I'm just tired of it. I'm sorry, but you know what? I hope Halle Bailey has a really good career. I hope that she goes on to do some really cool things, because her voice sounds amazing, and I think she's gonna do well and all this. And it's just unfortunate that they're kind of using her as a shield from criticism, which I don't think is right.
But in this case, it is what it is. The movie's done, or done-ish.
Well, probably has some post-productions.
I mean, it's due to come out in May, so that's going to be here before we know it. So this one's practically in the can, so it's coming whether we like it or not. Unless Disney decides to pull a Warner Brothers and stick it away in a corner somewhere next to Batwoman or Batgirl.
I highly doubt that. It seems like Disney and Warner Brothers are on 2 very different trajectories.
Yes, that is true. So all right, well, let's move over to Pixar, who has their own
things going on
and can get us emotional about things that we didn't know we could get emotional about sometimes.
Happens all the time.
Yep, we get emotionally compromised over the tiniest things.
What if feelings had feelings, you guys?
Yeah. So yeah, so we're getting Elemental, which is not actually a Pixar movie. It's gonna be Disney animation, but it's due to release June of next year, and it is set in a city where fire, water, land, and air residents live together.
So it's Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah. And I guess it's going to be the story of a burgeoning, kind of a clash in personality, figure out how to get along, probably to solve a bigger problem, with the character Ember, who is a tough, fiery young woman, and Wade, who is a fun, sappy, go with the flow guy.
Roll for initiative, everybody.
Yes.
Water and fire, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen how this ends. It doesn't
yeah.
end pretty. But
And
we'll
then-
see what they do with it.
Yeah. And then we're getting Pixar's first ever long form series called Win or Lose. So it's obviously going to be animated, and it's a animated series that follows the Pickles, a co-ed middle school softball team,
Okay.
in the week leading up to their championship game. And each episode is going to give the perspective of a different character. So the players, parents, the umpire.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, I hope that they don't have, like, the obnoxious sports parent, although they probably will, because that's kind of an easy trope to do. The one that wants to coach rather than let the coach do their thing, and it's always yelling at the referees, and the kid just is so embarrassed by it. It's like, Mom, Dad, sit down, shut up. Just let us play the game. It's just a game, man. I'm looking forward to that.
The team is called the Pickles.
Sorry, I hear
funny.
Pickles. I think Rugrats, like
Yeah.
Tommy Pickles.
My mind jumped exactly to that and was like, oh boy.
Yep. Not those Pickles.
Or in
Those Pickles.
Coco Melon, Cody's cat is named Pickles,
Yeah.
which is super cute.
Yep. So that's coming next fall. And then Elio, which is going to be a interesting so the little synopsis that they have out there is the story of an 11-year-old dreamer, Elio, who is artistic, creative, and an avid indoorsman. I guess that's what we call him, an introvert.
I like that term, indoorsman. I really do.
Yeah, I'm gonna start using that. And be like, you don't want to hang out. No, I'm just an avid indoorsman. That's all.
I mean, everybody.
I'm playing to my strengths.
Everybody around here likes to go hiking, skiing, camping, all that stuff, and I'm like, nah. I like my house. It's where all my stuff is.
Exactly.
And there's air conditioning.
And
I don't have to climb rocks.
Yeah, exactly. So, but Elio having trouble fitting in,
as you do.
Meanwhile, his mom, whose name is Olga, runs a top secret military project and is working to decode a strange signal from outer space. But it's Elio who makes contact, gets beamed into space, and is subsequently mistaken for an intergalactic ambassador for Earth.
oh boy.
Okay, this is going to be fun.
Yes.
So, oh my. And then last up, at least from Pixar, Shalane alluded to sequels. We are getting Inside Out 2.
Because we didn't cry enough at the last one.
Yeah, I haven't watched the first one just because I know what happens to a certain character, and apparently it's heartbreaking. And I don't want to. I don't want to deal with that at the moment.
But it is a really good movie. It is. Yeah.
It just like I haven't watched Up because I know that the first 10 minutes are going to kill me. So,
well, then the sequel, if it is done right, will probably kill you too.
Probably.
Although I guess if it's about Riley as a teenager, it might make you hate her because teenage girls suck. And I say this as one was once a teenage girl.
Yeah.
So you know.
It is teenage Riley.
Boy.
Which it said who may or may not be feeling all kinds of new emotions, although we do know that Amy Poehler is coming back as Joy, so Joy will still be around. We'll see if any of the rest of the crew shows up or not. So
if it goes the way I think it sounds, it's like they're gonna have the original 5 emotions, and then there will be some new ones who pop in and cause all sorts of havoc and mayhem. And
because hormones.
I fully expect there to be an emotion, probably a PG version of lust.
Probably
whatever that ends up being.
Probably. And then last up is Disney's Animation's next original feature film. So this is not based on fairy tale or some other IP. It's called Wish, set to release next fall. And it's going to be a musical. It's going to be an animated musical, which is great. It's going to be inspired by the movies that have come before. And it asks the question, how did the wishing star upon which so many characters wish come to be?
Ooh, interesting.
So it's set in Rosas, the kingdom of wishes, where wishes can literally come true. So our heroine is Asha. She's 17. And she makes a wish to the stars, and it is answered, of course, by a little ball of boundless energy called Star.
Okay. Well,
and apparently there is going to be Asha or Star is going to have a sidekick, a goat named Valentino, of course, voiced by Alan Tudyk.
Yes.
Oh, this should be good.
Yes. But Asha is going to be voiced by Ariana DeBose. So
I have to wonder, like, did Alan Tudyk just sign a contract like, I'm going to be your comic relief animated characters in perpetuity?
Probably,
yeah.
I'm not complaining. I'm just like, he's in everything.
Yeah.
He knows his niche.
He does, and he does it well.
Yep.
I mean, I kept thinking, it's like, is it a coincidence they announced a movie called Wish around the same time that the Disney Wish cruise ship was it christened, or was it announced? Not coincidence. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, it's out sailing now.
Oh, okay, so. It's out sailing. But yes, but that was in the news. I just remember that, and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a
both Lou and Becky have been on the Wish several times already.
Of course they have.
So, of course.
I was just trying to remember. Like, which is the brand new one that's out, and which is the one that they just announced, and keeping all that straight.
We are going to get to that. Thank you. For that segue.
Yes. But yeah, I just remember there's a lot of talk about the Disney Wish, and now they're like, oh, there's a movie called Wish. I'm like, I see what you did there.
Yep. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Like I said, with that segue, let's talk about the parks and resorts. And
what did they announce?
Because fun stuff coming there, like a Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. You are going to be able to start meeting Mando with Grogu.
Cool.
Very cool. Kevin Feige, leader, has announced that Avengers Campus at California Adventure they're already planning an expansion.
Sweet.
I'm not upset about this at all.
And are we surprised by this news?
No, not at all.
Shouldn't be.
So there's going to be a third attraction added, which the new attraction will allow guests to join in the battle with the Avengers, facing foes from anywhere and any when.
I knew
So
that was
you're gonna
coming.
be traversing the multiverse, and that includes King Thanos, a multiverse variant designed specifically for this attraction.
Oh
Oh,
dear.
boy. Uh-oh.
And also Hulk in his time travel suit from Endgame is going to be a meetable character in the parks, which is pretty dang cool. I'm excited to see how they pull off Hulk. So because they've done Groot as a meetable character. So this is I'm very excited to see how they pull off Hulk.
See Groot, they could do like, how they do, Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, like it's a mask. Hulk is more human than Groot, so I think this will be a bit of a bigger challenge, but maybe they can make it work.
Yep. And then also in California Adventure, Pacific Wharf, which at the moment is exactly what it sounds like. It's designed to look like a wharf in like Seattle or San Francisco or something like that, where you're up against the Pacific Ocean. But it's going to be rethemed to San Francisco from Big Hero 6, and of course you'll be able to be Baymax, among other things. Disneyland Park, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway getting ready to open in Toontown. And then the Paradise Pier Hotel is going to get a Pixar retheming. And then some new stuff going in at Downtown Disney's District, including some new eating locations. And for all the running fans, Run Disney is going to start back up again in 2024 in California. So they've not had Run Disney races there since 2017. So
you all enjoy. I will cheer for you from the sidelines.
Yes, my feet just ache hearing about that.
Yeah.
I will be manning the water booth.
Yes, that's right. I'll make sure there's water, and I'll be the one that's like going, come on, you can do it. You're at mile 146 or whatever it is. I don't run.
Yeah. Not unless something's chasing me.
Yes.
Yep.
But good on the people who do.
Yep. And then of course, coming to both coasts in the US, we know that Splash Mountain is getting a Princess and the Frog rethemed, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, but they have confirmed that the voice cast, including Anika Noni Rose, who of course voiced Tiana, Bruno Campos, who voiced Naveen, Michael Leon Woolley as Lewis, and Jennifer Lewis as Mama Odie are going to be lending their voices to the new attraction. So that's cool. And of course, Epcot has been going through a major transformation that unfortunately got slowed down because of the pandemic. Really trying. They really wanted a lot of this stuff done in time for Epcot's 40th, which is on October 1st. That's obviously not going to happen.
No.
So get it done in time for the company's 100th anniversary. That's the next best thing. So that's what they're aiming for. So there's going to be Journey of Water, which is going to be inspired by Moana. So it's going to, of course, Epcot, somewhat educational, so it's going to teach people about water usage and how water is utilized across the globe. Figment is going to be a meetable character in the park by the end of next year, which makes people very happy.
Yes.
Tron, the light cycle run, getting very close to being done, set to open in the spring. And the Happily Ever After is going to return as the nighttime fireworks and projection show in 2023, and the Hatbox Ghost is returning to the Honda Mansion next year.
Sweet.
And then yes, Disney Cruise Line, Disney Wish, the newest ship, got christened slightly earlier this year. Like I said, both Lou and Becky have been on it multiple times. I hate you both. We knew there was another ship coming. We now have a name and a projection of when that ship is going to be ready to set sail. It is going to be the Disney Treasure, and is set to start sailing in 2024. So every ship has the atrium when you first board the ship. It tends to be several stories high, very luxurious. There's a grand staircase where they can take, nice photos of you with your family. There's a statue of some Disney character who's inspires that decor and is also kind of the spirit of that particular ship. In this case, it is going to be Aladdin and Jasmine are going to be essentially the spirit of this ship. So the statue will be Aladdin, Jasmine, and on the magic carpet, and the decor is going to be influenced by Asia and Africa, and Agrabah, which doesn't actually exist, but you know what I mean. And then DCL is also expanding their itineraries, and they are going to be doing cruises next year to Australia and New Zealand. So that's really cool. So that's going to be on the Disney Wonder. So because that is the one that goes to the West Coast already to do the Alaska itineraries. So that's the last ship that I was on, was the Wonder, because that was the last cruise I did, was to Alaska. It's awesome. So that is cool. And then Disney is building a new stop, I guess it's going to be exclusive to them, along with Castaway Cay, called Lighthouse Point. It's going to be in the Bahamas, but it is going to be 90% powered through solar electricity.
Cool.
That's cool. And then moving to parks elsewhere on the planet. Some of this is not new. We're getting Frozen themed areas in several of the international parks. The one in Hong Kong Disneyland set to open second half of 2023. And there's also going to be one going in Disneyland Paris, in the Walt Disney Studios park, which that park needs a lot of help, so I'm all for it. And then there's also going to be a Tangled family attraction that is going to go in at Disneyland Paris. And then
I'm glad Tangled is getting some love.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The smolder finally paid off, I guess.
Yeah. And then Tokyo Disney Resort is getting frozen as part of the Fantasy Springs expansion at Tokyo Disney Sea. Which it's going to join up with some other animated films, Peter Pan and Tangled. Plus there's going to be a whole new hotel. So, and then Space Mountain at Tokyo getting a facelift, so that you will get it's going to have a different look depending on whether it's daytime or nighttime.
Cool.
Yeah. And then Shanghai Disney Resort is going to get a themed area themed to Zootopia. So Zootopia Central Station, guests will find animals going about their daily lives, including the Zootopia Police Department, which will double as the entrance to the land. The land's new attraction, and you will have audio animatronics of various characters, including Officer Clawhauser. So have your donuts ready, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Disney 100 Years of Wonder, the celebration that will be kicking off here very soon. World of Color at Disneyland is getting a special re-theming called World of Color 1. And it is going to celebrate the storytelling legacy started by Walt a century ago. And then Wondrous Journeys at Disneyland will ignite the wonder, which means fireworks, in everyone, and feature nods to all 60 Walt Disney Animation Studios films to date. They're going to cram a lot into that fireworks show.
Yeah.
And then there's also going to be special entertainment and stuff that they'll have at the parks during this celebration, of course. Epcot's getting a new nighttime show. I have yet to see Harmonious in person. I probably won't. So the video I've seen, it looks pretty good, actually, to me. So, but yeah, some people are just really want that to go away. So I guess they're going to get their wish, at least temporarily. Who knows? Harmonious may come back after. We'll see. And then Hong Kong Disneyland is getting a new statue of Walt and Mickey. It's going to be near Cinderella's Carousel. And then they also had on display the new Walt statue that is going to be at the entrance at Epcot, which looked really cool. That's going to be really exciting once that gets installed. And then last but certainly not least, those other things that Disney owns, like Marvel, Lucasfilm, and Fox, which they're calling 20th Century Studios, starting with Lucasfilm, which is mostly Star Wars. It's like 90% Star Wars, 10% other Lucas properties, including more footage from Andor, which at this point is us recording this, comes out the day after tomorrow. So the 21st, we got another trailer for Willow.
Oh my gosh, that looks good.
Drops Thanksgiving, so November 30th. We're getting a new season of Star Wars The Bad Batch that drops in January.
That one's exciting.
We're getting a kind of mini series called Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, which follows Ahsoka and Count Dooku.
Okay.
Okay.
During the time of the prequels, Ashley Eckstein has come back to voice Ahsoka in animated form, of course.
Because when I first heard the title, I got my hopes up like they were going to go back to like the Dark Horse comics, early Jedi myths and legends, and how the Jedi did their order. But I'm happy with the Ahsoka and that too. So,
and then we got the Mandalorian.
Yay!
So we got Mandu, we got Grogu, we got the armor, we got Bo-Katan. I love the Bo-Katan. There's one shot of there, Bo-Katan, when she's talking to Grogu, and she's like, "What? You thought your dad was the only Mandalorian?" Like they're calling Mando Grogu's dad. I love it.
Well, I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion now that Mando is dad, no matter what.
I mean,
this is true.
The armorer told Mando that he was essentially Grogu's father because he found him.
Yes, and after the events of that one episode of those episodes in Boba Fett, it's
Boba
like
Fett,
you're his dad. So just go with it, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could kind of figure second episode in or third episode in of the first season with the baby telling him not to touch it, and little Grogu like, I'm gonna touch the button. You knew right then and there. It's like
yep,
you're daddy.
You're a parent now, whether you ask for it or not. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, just roll with it, and everything will be fine. Trust me.
Yeah. So
also, he's stinking cute. So how could you not?
Yes.
I'm so excited. So that is due early next year, supposedly February. So I'm good running with that and going happy birthday to me.
That's what early next year means is your birthday.
I think it's Rachel's birthday. So if I got to turn 40, I'm doing it with Mandu and Grogu. So thank you very much. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Hey, I'll accept that.
And then again, not anything that's been released to the public, but Harrison Ford did show up to tantalize the folks about Indiana Jones 5.
Yep.
Of course he did.
He probably flew himself there.
Probably. Yes.
Odds are pretty good that he did. And then 20th Century Studios, I don't even know why they gave this its own thing, because there was only one thing, and it's Avatar, The Way of the Water. I think because I just wanted to talk about the fact that they showed people a preview of it in 3D.
Okay.
And that's the first time that's ever been done at D23, where people had to wear like the 3D glasses to be able to see a teaser for something. So,
and I think all we got was a poster. Supposedly they're doing something with Neverending Story.
Yeah.
I'm
who knows
about that one.
Unless there was something specifically presented on the stage, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just sit back and wait. Yeah. And then Marvel, last but certainly not least, Marvel Studios gave their presentation, starting their presentation with a live performance of "I Can Do This All Day" from Rogers the Musical.
Oh my god!
I can't. I just can't. I saw that. I was scrolling through, and I saw it like on TikTok or something. And I'm like, they did not. They did not.
They went there,
and they brought. And most of the cast is the cast that did it in Hawkeye, with a few exceptions where the people weren't available. but most of it, the people, you could compare it to the show, the version in Hawkeye, and you see a lot of very familiar faces. But yeah,
Oh my
they
gosh.
brought Rogers the Musical to D23 Expo. I've watched it, I don't know how many times. I die every time because it's like, please, Marvel, Disney, whoever, make this a full-on show, please.
They're probably planning it, Rachel. This could have been their dry
it's like
run
you
to see
can
how
like
well it went
you
over.
are never really gonna like I'm warmed up to some of it, but you're never probably really gonna get me on the Hamilton train. You can get me on this.
Rachel,
I'm just saying.
Dry run.
Yes.
They were waiting to see what the reaction was, and if it was favorable, they'd be like, okay,
Yeah,
I think we can make this a thing.
it's very favorable. So get on it. You got Lin-Manuel Miranda in your pocket already. You know, give the man some money and some direction. He will give it to us.
He'll do it.
It needs to happen. Because I just I love it. Oh my goodness. Of course, hyping some things that are due sooner rather than later, including Black Panther Wakanda Forever, coming out this November. Ironheart, which we will be getting on Disney Plus, and they have confirmed that that's going to pick up after Black Panther Wakanda Forever, because we're getting introduced to Riri in Black Panther. So that's cool. And then we got Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, due right now, the day before my birthday. So again, can't complain. I'm gonna turn 40 with Grogu and Mando, and then a little Paul Rudd, because everybody loves Paul Rudd.
Not a bad way to celebrate your birthday month.
Yeah,
nope.
Not at all. So Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, and Jonathan Majors, who we know plays Kang, among other variations. And of course, we got the return of Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer as Hope's parents, and then a more grown up Cassie, because Scott got blipped, and Cassie didn't. So Cassie grew up. This will be a direct connection to Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, which should not surprise anybody considering Kang is in this movie. And then there's Avengers movie with Kang's name in the title. So I don't know if they really needed to specify that particular connection, but I guess they did. This is not, because all the information I have is from the official D23 website, all the stuff that they put up, which anybody can read. You don't have to be a member of D23 to be able to read this stuff. And they didn't put it in this little synopsis, but I'm 99.9% sure that I read something somewhere, and I don't know if it was Kevin Feige or if it was maybe like Paul Rudd. Someone who was on stage at the time did confirm the rumor that Bill Murray will be appearing in this movie. So Bill Murray is now going to be part of the MCU.
As you do.
As everybody wants to do. I want to be part of the MCU. So, and you don't have to pay me what you're paying Bill Murray. So,
well, a little paycheck would be nice.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah. And then to help you get ready for spooky season, after watching Hocus Pocus 2, If you want something, I guess, a little more creepy, you can watch Werewolf by Night, which will be dropping on Disney Plus on October 7th. And I'm not entirely sure what I'm watching with the trailer, to be honest with you. It has a very like Universal monster kind of feel to it.
Which would be hilarious because Universal tried their monster universe and it didn't work.
Yeah. So it's like a Universal monster movie / who done it Agatha Christie murder mystery. Maybe kind of sort of. It's just I mean, it's definitely different. I mean, I'm totally here for it. I'm glad that, Marvel is playing around with different things, obviously, because things like the What If series with the zombies and the like was very different. Multiverse of Madness, obviously going way darker and scarier thing, for with that. So yeah, I'm totally down for them trying something different, especially for something like this where it's just, it's going to be it's a Halloween special essentially. Marvel has done something for Halloween and they're putting it on Disney Plus, so you could just be like, well, it's a Halloween thing, so whatever. But it's just like, I don't know or recognize really like any of the characters or anything, so I'm completely clueless on this as far as what may appear in it, as far as but I mean, werewolf makes sense because we're getting vampires with Blade, so if there's gonna be vampires, there's also gonna be things like werewolves, so I'm here for it. I'm totally here for it. What's interesting is it's directed by Michael Giacchino.
Interesting.
Apparently is an established director, but most people recognize his name for doing music.
Yeah.
He's done the score for
Everything.
Doctor Strange and all the Tom Holland Spider-Mans, among other things. So yeah, and Thor: Love and Thunder. So that's really cool. And then Don Cheadle showed up to present the trailer for Secret Invasion. Seeing Nick Fury going, oh fine, I'll come back to Earth and get off my little vacation spaceship I've been on, letting Skrulls run around pretending to be me. Looking very much like the Nick Fury that it's like, really? I try to take a little vacation and all hell breaks loose. What the hell is this shit?
Pretty much.
So but it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, obviously Samuel Jackson back as Nick Fury. We're gonna have Ben Mendelsohn back as Talos. It's got Olivia Colman in it, which is cool. Colby Smulders back as Maria Hill, who looks very pissed off that Nick Fury has kept not answering her calls. We've got Martin Friedman back as Everett Ross. We've got Don Cheadle back as Rhodey. And I'm sure some other people that will pop up that they're trying to keep under wraps for as long as possible. So, and or have not been named yet. We still have no idea who Emilia Clarke is playing. So somebody badass because she's carrying a gun. And then Don Cheadle talked about another project that he's working on, Armor Wars, which is going to be focused on Rhodey. So that's cool. And then, of course, Tom Hiddleston showed up to tantalize the folks about Loki season 2. We've not gotten anything new yet, so no new fresh looks at Tom Hiddleston's magic pants. It's only a matter of time. And then Kevin Feige. We'll see if this again, write these things in pencil. We'll see if this one sticks. But Kevin Feige has confirmed, air quotes, that Matt Shakeman, who directed all of WandaVision, so we know this guy knows what he's doing, is going to be directing the Fantastic Four movie. Which is due in theaters in 2024, which is not that far away, actually.
No.
When you think
No, it really isn't.
like slightly over 2 years from now, we're gonna get the Disney Marvel Studios Fantastic Four, which is pretty awesome.
I am very curious to see what comes of that, because we've had several Fantastic Four movies. Ranging from middling to utter dog crap.
Thinking? Yeah.
So
as I like to say, third time's the charm when it comes to these things.
But yeah,
we're on our third
since
Spider-Man. We're on our third Bruce Banner.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I've been wanting them to see what Marvel can do with the Fantastic Four for quite some time. So let's have it. Let's see what you guys are gonna do. Because you can't do any worse than what we've had before.
That's true. It is very true. Although
Hopefully
Stan Lee does
better.
have some pretty good cameos in the Jessica Alba Fantastic Force. So.
Yes, that is true.
the ones with a certain captain before he had the
before he had the shield.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chris Evans is in those too.
Yeah. Although I know it won't happen, but it would be hilarious if they got him back to be Johnny Storm. And they would be like, what's going on? Or that's a multiverse.
They'd be like, Steve? Like, who's Steve?
Well, Steve, yeah.
Steve,
or we could get the joke like they did in She-Hulk with
we shall wait and see. We don't even know who's going. Yeah, we don't even know who our Fantastic Four are going to be yet. I mean,
true.
We can kind of probably pretty safely assume that our Mr. Fantastic is going to be the same one that we already saw. We saw recently.
John Krasinski.
With maybe clean shaven in this universe.
Yes.
Instead of having a beard.
I wouldn't mind having him. It's like, okay, yeah, he was a multiverse version.
It would make sense. I think it makes sense. But as far as the other three, we have no idea. So
yeah. Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah, in slightly under 2 years, or slightly over 2 years. I mean, we'll start seeing things sooner than that, I would think, unless they pull a Thor: Love and Thunder and be like, yeah, no, we're not going to give you a trailer till like a day before it comes out in theaters. That's one way to do marketing, I guess.
Well, we won't go there.
It's a way. I didn't say it was a good way. I just said it was a way.
Yes. Well, it definitely that was definitely a thing.
Yep. And then we got the cast of Echo. So the audience got to see a little bit of sneak peek footage from that. Again, not been released to the public. But apparently this is going to be the fallout of Maya's actions in Hawkeye. And since Vincent D'Onofrio was already there, hey, why not bring out Charlie Cox and talk about Daredevil? So which is not under production yet, but they have mentioned it's going to be 18 episodes.
Holy
Ooh,
cow.
okay.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yes.
Well, all right then.
Any
Yeah.
ideas if Foggy's going to be showing up?
No idea.
Mm,
No
It
idea.
would be a shame if he didn't, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yep. We just got, I mean, we don't even know exactly what's happening with Matt right now, other than his short appearance in Spider-Man, and he's not popped up in She-Hulk yet. Hopefully that will change this week.
mhm. Yes.
And find out exactly what's going on with Matt Murdock, and hopefully maybe that'll give us an idea maybe of where this will go. So but
We
yeah,
need
it is,
we need status updates for our favorite
Mhm.
avocados at Lock.
yeah. And then Captain America New World Order, which obviously is going to have Anthony Mackie now as Captain America. And we've got some Falcon Winter Soldier alumni who will be coming back for this movie, including Danny Ramirez, who played Torres, and Carl Lumbly,
Nice.
who played Isaiah Bradley. So that's cool. We're gonna
Okay.
get some more Isaiah.
Sweet.
So that is awesome. And then the Thunderbolts, which just looks like the art up on the
Oh, boy.
screen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Of David Harbour. It's just,
Mhm.
I can't. It's so
Mhm.
ridiculous. So, but we're gonna have obviously Julia Louis-Dreyfus back as Contessa Valentina Allegri de Fontaine.
Nicely said there, Rachel.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call her Val, even though she hates
Yeah.
that. Come at me, bro.
It's a lot
Mhm.
shorter.
David, yeah,
Yeah.
David Harbour as Red Guardian. Hannah John Kamen, Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp. Wyatt Russell, John Walker, the crappy Captain America from Falcon and Winter Soldier, essentially.
Mhm.
Sebastian Stan. And we're also going to have Olga, Kuyenko, who played Taskmaster in Black Widow. And then Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova. But yeah, this it's like they're all so serious. And then you got David Harbour's Red Guardian just like, hi, Mom. It just can't. And then we've got the Marvels, so kind of our first official seeing our gals together here. There's if you pay attention to the interwebs, there's been some shots of Iman Vellani on set as Miss Marvel. But I think this is the first time that Iman, Tiona, and Brie have been together out in public together. So to see, Miss Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and Captain Marvel together, along with their director, Nia DaCosta, is really cool. So, and that's set to open July of next year. So, but that's it for D23 really this year. So I know some people were kind of especially about like the parks and resorts related stuff. I mean, a lot of the stuff was announced like the last D23 Expo pre-pandemic. So a lot of this stuff was announced ages ago and unfortunately did not happen necessarily on Disney's original timeline because of the pandemic. So that's kind of screwed things up timing wise. So yeah, there's not really a whole lot going on in the parks and resorts here in the US, other than Avengers Campus already getting an expansion when it hasn't even been open in a year yet. Not that I'm complaining at all. And the fact that they managed to find some more room to expand in California, I'm always here for it. Because that is not easy.
No.
They are packed to the brim there in Disneyland.
Yeah, they have to take
unfortunately.
stuff out if they want to put anything new in.
Yeah.
Just is what it is.
Or get very, very creative. Like, yeah, sure, we've got on-site parking way over there. Technically, it's still on our property, but it's all the way over there.
Yeah.
Hope you like a 30-minute tram ride to where you parked your car, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. We'll cut that one some slack. That was the first one that Walt did.
Yeah. I mean, he couldn't have known that the city of Anaheim was just going to, pop up practically overnight and be like, hey, look, we're going to create an entire city around you.
Because people need places to stay and eat and shop. And
yes.
Not necessarily in the park.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't have any complaints about the quantity and or quality of the announcement. Obviously, we have opinions about some specific things that they are doing, especially in the film portion of the company. But we've said our piece.
Yes, we have.
And
I had to get that off my chest. I'm sorry, y'all.
I mean, that's why we do this.
Yes.
Because
and how
the stuff we care about, they make decisions, and sometimes
those decisions just don't sit well. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but
sometimes we have to pull a Nick Fury and recognize the decision, but it's a stupid ass decision. So
and I've elected to ignore it.
Exactly.
But there are some things that I'm excited to see. So I'm gonna go with it. It's like I'm going to enjoy what I like and ignore what I don't. That's my thing. But I was just gonna say, like, how boring would this podcast be if we all just kind of sat there and said, yeah, I agree. Yes. All the time.
Yep. That would be
very dull. Keep it interesting.
Yes.
So anyway, well, if any of our listeners want to send us feedback, and that includes hate mail, which I fully expect in some way, shape, or form, maybe not. If anyone wants to talk about their favorite part of D23, if there's something we missed or didn't spend enough time on or anything like that, drop us some feedback at fiveishfangirls@gmail.com. There's our email address. And you can also visit our website, which is the5ishfangirls.com. And that has links to our social media, to our YouTube channel, and all the ways that you can support the channel financially, which, of course, we always appreciate all of our Patreon supporters, those who buy our merch and all those other things that we have. And we love all our listeners and the people who write us feedback and leave comments and likes and things on our stuff on Facebook, because it makes it more fun. So I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody is settling into September, whether that's fall or spring, depending on where you are in the world. And I know we finally got our fall weather, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because that summer was killing me.
Yeah.
But now I can wear jackets.
Yeah.
Not quite to sweater weather yet, but
yeah,
we're not boiling anymore.
I can wear pants.
I can wear long pants.
Yeah.
Maybe boots if I wanted to. And I walk outside and I don't feel like I'm baking. It's a marvelous thing.
It is. We're talking about the weather. That means we need to cut this thing off.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So everybody, stay safe, stay happy, stay whatever it is you do. And we're going to peace out of here.
Yeah. So yeah, with that, we definitely need to sign off for this week.
This is Chrissy saying goodnight from Salt Lake City.
This is Sally from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. I really, really need to get my butt back to Disneyland. That's moving really high up the list. Listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. You can find more episodes and information at thefivishfangirls.com. Any and all books, movies, games, and any other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied. If you wish to support the show, the easiest way is to leave us a rating and review. More ratings and reviews will make it easier for others to find the show. If you wish to support us monetarily, you can do so at patreon.com/5ishfangirlspodcast. All money goes towards fees and equipment to keep the show going. For official Five-ish Fangirls merchandise, visit redbubble.com/people/5ishfangirls. We love hearing from our listeners and encourage feedback. You can email us at fiveishfangirls@gmail.com. You can also like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/5ishfangirls. Thank you so much for listening, and may the squee be with you.